This is a quick demo video on how to glue and attach objects to your assemblage sculpture. We have 10 glue guns, so we'll take turns using them and sending kids to the glue gun station. There will be times when you will want to attach pieces and you will not be able to use the glue gun. I will show you alternatives for using the glue gun in a second. So at the glue gun station there should be some buckets that say glue sticks thick and thin. For all of the ones that are out right now, the big glue guns, you're going to use the thicker glue stick. And here's how you put it in. In the end of the glue stick there's a hole, and you push it in until you see the glue stick go through the space right here. The safest way to store the glue gun when you are not using it is standing up like this on the little bracket wire thing, or laying down on the wire mesh. You don't want this tip touching the paper. However, you will want to do your gluing on top of the paper so that the glue that drips does not stick to the wire in the back. So I'm going to show you now how to glue. I've got a cork here and I've got 2 puzzle pieces. This should be fairly simple. When I go to glue, I'm going to start by just putting a small amount, and I'm keeping my fingers far away from the metal tip of the glue gun because it is what? It is hot. It will burn you if you touch it. Now I'm going to squeeze the trigger here until some glue comes out of the end, and I'm just going to go slowly. I don't want to waste glue. As the glue passes through the tip of the glue gun, it'll heat up and it'll come out in liquid form. I'm going to turn this to high so that it heats it a little bit hotter. Okay, it's going to come pretty soon here. And here's the key. This will dry very quickly and it'll be hot as it comes out. So you want to be prepared to have your other piece that you're going to be gluing ready to go. Anytime now, anytime now. Oh, I pushed the whole glue stick through, and it looks like I need to add another one in order to continue to push. That means that whole first glue stick now is in the barrel of the glue stick, or the glue gun, and it should come out any second. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, maybe it's not hot enough. Oh, here it comes. Yay! There we go. Now, quickly take the next piece and put it on top. And be careful. You may not burn yourself here, but you could burn yourself on that hot glue that came out. Now, this is the part that's going to drip, and I'm actually going to try to use it because it's still hot, and I'm going to glue onto the other side my other puzzle piece. Now, let's say I'm done. I'm not going to leave the glue gun like this. I'm either going to stand it up on the paper or I'm going to set it back, laying down on the wire mesh. Please do not use more hot glue than you need. We don't have very many of these sticks. They're very expensive, and we have 600 students that will be doing this project this year. So use it sparingly, and if you have other ideas for how you can attach things without using hot glue, do it. I'll show you a couple examples of that right now. Another way you can attach objects on your sculpture is what we should call yarn bombing. I'll show you some examples. Here's an example of some trees that have been yarn bombed. Basically, knitters create socks that go around the trees to give them some color and cover them with yarn. Here's an example of an artist and knitter installing a yarn bomb over a seat of a bus. Why do this, you may ask? Well, because artists are a little weird, but they also like to add color and surprises to things in daily life. Here's a photo of a bus that's even been yarn bombed. If you Google yarn bombing, you'll see all kinds of cool examples of things that have been yarn bombed. I'm actually pretty sure that our front staircase has a railing that was yarn bombed here at Ramsey. So here's how you do it. I want to attach this cord onto this copper pipe. I want it to be kind of like on the end here, sticking out the end for part of my sculpture. Here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to take some Elmer's glue and I'm going to pick a color yarn that I can yarn bomb these 2 objects together with. You'll want to cut some yarn first to make it easy, because once you start, you want to be able to wrap as many times as possible without stopping. Okay. Now, this is similar to what we did with the sticks at the beginning of the school year when we wrapped them with yarn. See if you can get the glue to come out. And then I recommend that you run a line of glue Hang on. Okay, I went and got a glue that actually works this time. You know how you keep glue bottles working? You close the end. So after you're done using it, okay, I'm going to put a line of glue on here, and that's going to help my yarn stick. And then now I'm done, I'm going to close the cap and put it back straight up like this, and then it should last longer. Okay, to make it easier, I'm just going to start out by tying my yarn in a knot around one of the objects, just so that I'm not having to hold it and wrap it. There we go, that'll help it stick better. And now I'm going to line up the two objects together, and I'm going to start yarn bombing, which in this case, instead of knitting, we're actually just going to wrap the two objects together. The cool thing about yarn bombing is that it'll add some texture to your sculpture, it'll add some color, and it'll allow you to attach pieces without having to always use the glue gun. I still need a little more yarn, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some more, and I'm going to tie it onto the end here, tie a little knot, so that I can continue to wrap it, and I don't have to deal with pieces that are sticking up and out. Okay, so I tied it. Now I'm going to just finish wrapping. Cool thing about this too is that you're not going to be able to see where your two pieces go together. It'll be a little bit more mysterious how you attached it. Okay, I'm just going to finish going around here and try to cover up that cork entirely. Okay, at the very end, when we did the trick during advisory at the beginning of the year, we put a little dollop of glue down, or had a little bit of glue there, and then we said 1, 2, 3, stick for me. Hold that piece of yarn down, 1, 2, 3, stick for me, and then you should have a nicely yarn bombed attachment. Now, another way to attach things is using wire. Here's a piece of wire I found in the wire box over there, and it's obviously been used already, but it'll still do the trick. I'm noticing that my yarn has these two little pieces sticking out, so I'm just going to trim them so it looks a little bit cleaner for my sculpture. Now, for the wire, I'm going to cut a piece that I'm going to need. Wait a minute, Miss Alyssa, do not use scissors to cut wire. You need to use a wire cutter. Otherwise, we'll just ruin the scissors, and then they won't work for our next unit where we will be using fabric. So take the wire cutter and cut a piece that you need, the length that you want. If you bring a wire cutter to your table, try to bring it back to the tools box over there, right there, so that other kids can use them. Now I'm going to attach these little beads onto my copper pipe here so that they kind of look like little buds on a flower stem or something. Okay. Beads are easy because they already have a hole in them, so it shouldn't be too hard for you to take your bead and then use the wire to wrap it around the thing you're attaching it to. And the trick for getting it to go on there tight is by pulling as you twist, and then you can use a little needle nose pliers to help finish off the wire and make it look better. I'm going to wrap a little bit longer here, and at the end I can grab this piece here with the needle nose pliers, and I can just pull hard. I'm just going to kind of twist and tuck that piece of wire under. Pretend like you're at the dentist. Now the bead was easy because I had a hole in it. I'm going to show you how to attach this wooden popsicle stick to the copper tube using. What you want to start out doing first is just wrapping the two pieces together. So I'm going to go around like this, and I'm pulling pretty hard. Now I'm going to work my way up, and I'm going to start to put the wire through like this. I'm going to go twice around the wood, and now I'm going to go twice around the copper. And this will start to put it in the position that I want. I'm going to go twice around the wood again, twice around the copper, and then I'm going to go back around the whole thing to create a nice tight attachment. And again, I think this time these two ends here, I'm going to wrap around each other, and then I can use my needle nose pliers to grab them and tuck them in so that they don't poke anybody. Okay. So those are some alternatives to using the glue guns to attach objects onto your assemblage sculpture. And in a lot of ways, they create some kind of interesting combinations of materials and media and allow you to work at your table while others are using the glue guns. All of these materials, remember, need to be put back in their spot. We have many, many students using these things. So if you have more than one wire cutter at your table, you should probably bring it back to the tools table over there so that other people can use them. You should be able to share some of these tools at your table so that everybody has what they need and does not need to get up and move around the room that often. All right, that's it for this demo. See you guys soon.